He's a Midstate pastor who's bucking more than 100 years of tradition, all in the name of equality, licensing women to be ministers at his church.
But there are new details in this story we first told you about 6 weeks ago. That pastor now faces suspension unless he takes back those women's licenses to minister. News Channel 5's Jason Lamb has the story new at 6:30.
Unfortunately, still living in this traditional time.
Pastor Frank Stevenson of St. Luke Primitive Baptist Church knew he would be ruffling some feathers when he asked 15 women to serve as ministers. His church leadership bans it, but Stevenson says in 2014, it's only fair.
These are individuals who have been instrumental and very integral in the growth of this church, and we need them to have their hands busy in the work of this church.
Stevenson is speaking out against the ruling of the Cumberland Association of Primitive Baptist Churches, the group that oversees his church. He says the association has long held what he calls a don't ask, don't tell policy toward women ministers that he wants changed.
They can look like a preacher, talk like a preacher, give like a preacher, but if you give them a certificate that says they are a preacher, then you're in violation.
Since News Channel 5's original story aired a month and a half ago, Stevenson has licensed 3 more women as ministers, and he got a response from the Cumberland Association.
They've given me in this particular letter that I have until September the 14th to take back those licensures of those very qualified women.
The letter says if Stevenson doesn't comply by next month, the group will suspend his credentials to be a pastor. But Stevenson says that won't stop him from leading his church.
If my credentials are suspended, it will have no effect on our worship experience here. It will have no effect on what we're doing.
Stevenson says he's moving forward with or without the support of his leaders. Stevenson says there are other associations of Primitive Baptist churches in the area that his church could join if they are forced to leave the Cumberland Association, but he says their support isn't likely either. In any case, his church members say they are standing behind him. I'm Jason Lamb, News Channel 5 HD.
Pastor Stevenson says his church is appealing the Cumberland Association's decision at a national church convention that meets next month. The Cumberland Association did not respond to our calls for comment today.